Welcome to Hello Kind Soul, where we raise the vibration of kindness on a global scale. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all social platforms for your daily reminder to lead with love. Welcome to Hello Kind Soul podcast. We are coming to you from Petaluma, California, with Lisa, an amazing human that is shining her light in the community for quite a long time. So thank you so much for joining us today.
I am pretty happy to be here. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? And if you want to share social media handles, whatever, feel free to do so for our audience.
Social media handle is Lisa Lightman Fine Art because I am a painter. But I also had a full-time job working in the courts, diverting people from jail and getting them treatment. So I had a public policy degree, but I always had a love and passion for the arts. And so here I am after 25, 30 years working in my professional life, and I'm now retired and I'm fully in the art world, volunteering at the Petaluma Arts Center, which is where we're sitting right now.
That's amazing, man. I'm so excited to have this conversation. So I guess the first question I have is what brought you to, so you came from social justice or
I came
in
from
the court,
social justice
right?
world, yeah.
What brought you back to art full time when you retired?
Well, I always did art while I was working full time. And I'm really glad I did. It kind of saved my soul because when you're working in criminal justice, there's a lot of amazing stories that happen where people transform their lives. And you're watching that unfold over maybe an 18-month period when they're in our programs. But I always did my art on the side, and that was for me. And that was a very soul-soothing and soul-saving endeavor. I'm self-taught and got my way into galleries and other kinds of abilities to show and sell my work. But it's my real passion, actually. Like social justice, yes, whatever I was going to do in my life was going to be something to help and support others. But art's really coming from my heart and soul. Yeah.
You said it saved your soul.
It did.
Tell us more about that.
Well, like most jobs, they're tough. You do the everyday, and there's people, and when there's people, there can be wonderfulness, and there can be challenges, and sometimes conflicts, and you have to take the higher ground, and as Michelle Obama would tell us, right? So there would be some tough days. There's power struggles in the courts, as everybody knows. But I had a director level position. I had staff under me. We had 9 or 10 different programs that that I helped administer. And I say we because there was a team of us. So that was very challenging and very rewarding, but I needed to have something for me. So I can't imagine life if I had never found art, what life would have been like, that everyone has to have, to me, they have to have some kind of creative outlet. Because there's people in the creative world that are quite amazing. What happens being an artist, but being in a kind of a straight job or public policy, there's a way that I think differently as an artist, and I would bring that into the workplace. Every workplace wants to have an artist. They should want to have an artist because it's those in the arts that I think we should go for that grant. Maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe it does make sense. I think we can make this work. We did that. We got this grant that maybe somebody else who could think in a different way or think imaginatively would get it. There would be constantly ways that I would bring some of my risk-taking art self as I put that mark on a page, on a painting. That mark would go into my work life. And I'd say, let's try that. Let's make that mark.
It's so interesting. As you were saying, it made me think about how many artists color outside the lines, which is the essence of art. It's kind of creating your own version of what this could be. And so it's so beautiful to hear you say, here's how we would, as an artist, I think differently. And in that difference is the ability to be innovative.
I'm not going to take the simple route. I'm not going to take the same route people take. I'm going to try something different. And as a result, the San Francisco programs, so the programs I worked in were federal, they're national programs. But San Francisco made their mark. And I have to say that I had an amazing team of individuals, and I can't say enough about the city of San Francisco and just realms of thinking out of the box and taking risks. But we developed programs that people around the country would come and visit us because we weren't going to do it the same way. And that was partly San Francisco, it was partly me, it was partly my staff, it was partly the amazing judges and other individuals that we worked with. So it was a whole panoply of things, but I think that having that creative outlet really, and that creative passion really served my professional life and also served my heart and soul. Yeah.
So it sounds like, as I'm hearing you describe what you did, there's like this beautiful integration between community and creativity.
Yes.
Right? Share with me how best do we create the intersection, or what happens at the intersection of those two pieces coming together for other people. So a lot of people will be in the courts, et cetera. They'll be in education, right? All of these things are different sectors, but essentially, how do we bring together community and creativity for problem solving and solution?
Well, here we are sitting in this beautiful art center in Petaluma, and we put on six exhibitions a year.
Wow.
We have related programming, we have classes. You're sitting with this artwork is displayed from the Chicano community, of which we have a strong and powerful community in Sonoma County. So what happens is we open up our doors to the community. They walk in the doors, we're all meeting each other. We have classes, we have related events. That just taking this exhibition as one example, when you have a center like this, and there are centers in New York, there are community centers, there's art centers, I would say, keep those centers open and have people walk in the doors. You don't have to be an artist. Go in, volunteer. It's just join. There's a film out there on Netflix called Join or Die, because people are not joining things anymore. So if you want to bring community and connection and creativity together, just walk in the door of some kind of community center. They will find a place for you. And it's true here. When we have volunteers, it's like you are bringing people out of their living rooms, their bedrooms, and they're coming in for community and they're meeting new people. It can change your life.
Folks, I want you to kind of focus in on this call to action and advocacy, right?
Yes.
And so sometimes we think about advocacy as this typically social justice leaning,
right? But
let's just kind of peel back this idea of like advocate and what is our position in this world, right? We're living in a world where folks feel very disconnected.
Very disconnected.
So I walked in here, just for context, y'all, and I will record some of this so I can share within either the beginning or the end. And your generosity to sit with us is such a blessing, because I think people feel, how do we get connected?
Right.
So I really appreciate you kind of helping folks. Like, it's easy, get up, go out, find what is passionate or exciting to you and kind of jump in. What do you say to the person who feels like, I don't know enough about art, or I don't know about these mediums or the concepts being shared?
Yeah. So when people say that to me, I feel like what's behind that is they really want to do it. And it's the pause moment before you're willing to walk through the door. So you're saying a lot of, I can't do this, I don't know how to do this. But I promise you, if you walk through that door, you will be greeted. You will be shown a list of things that happen in that community. You will be invited to take a class. I know it. I just know it. We have so many, we have art centers in Northern California where we live, and each one is as warm and friendly and inviting as I feel we are in Petaluma, because we know, and there's something in the sociological world called the third place. So we have parks, we have cafes, but we need more third places. And that means that it's not your house, it's not the park, it's community centers, it's a place to go to. So we need to go to those third places. So if you say, I don't know how to, or I've never done art, it's okay. You might have a collage class. What does that mean? It means you're sitting in front of magazines, you're cutting out colorful pictures, and you're pasting them on a piece of paper, and whatever the result is, it's yours and you made it. That might be the first step. That's it. Or you might go in that art center and they're gonna have a walkthrough explaining what that art is. You can walk through the door and listen to the person speaking. It's not hard. You just have to take an action step.
Thank you so much for boiling it down, because I think people get stuck in
They get stuck in complexity.
Yes.
And it's not, I promise you, so many of the things in the world are simple, and there's going to be a person waiting for you on the other. There's going to be a person waiting to show you and teach you.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So I'm curious, it sounds like you've done a lot and you do a lot, right?
Yes, I am a doer.
You are a doer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like doing things.
Now, in order to do great things, and a lot of them, you have to stay balanced and grounded. So share with us, what are your go-tos for peace, restoration, joy seeking to keep yourself grounded in continuing to impact the world?
Right. Well, first I want to mention that as a child, I was terrified of speaking in public, and I was very shy, and I didn't speak that much. And so fast forward to many, many, many years later, and that's just changed. And how did that happen? It's like I was in a school play, and then I practiced speaking in front of groups because I joined a group to learn public speaking. And then I forgot your question.
So
what do I do?
Yes.
Okay. And then when I was about 30, I was exploring meditation. And so I went to a meditation center that was near where I lived in Boston. And I took classes, and it was not religious, but it did have a Buddhist angle to it. And it completely and utterly changed my life. So I learned a meditation practice, and I've used that a lot in life as you're standing in line at waiting to board the plane, or waiting for anything. I know how to wait. And I just go back inside and I breathe. And meditation is essentially following your breath. And you just it's helped me to bring myself to keep a calm center. So that has helped me as I am a joiner, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself. And so I need to stay grounded, and that helps.
I love that. It's so interesting. You said it, when you said it, I thought the sacred pause.
Yeah.
And
that's great. The sacred pause.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of people, like, when you're feeling this anxiousness rise up, just sit in it.
Yeah.
Just take a pause.
Yeah.
I feel like we're living in a world that doesn't know how to value slowing down as a means to go faster.
Right.
What are your thoughts about folks who feel, one, compelled, like the entire world has a bunch of stuff going on, right? And so there's this almost compulsion to say, run faster, right? And then there, as an artist, you almost go slower to make sure the product is this beautiful, it ends up being this really high quality, beautiful version of your best piece.
Yeah.
What do you say to folks who don't really understand kind of the principles of being an artist and how so much thought and intention goes into creating the work? So in essence, you slow down. Like what's your encouragement to them that will help them realize the importance of that sacred pause?
First you have to actually be comfortable within yourself. I mean, you have to want to be able to spend time with yourself and maybe have a considered self, or it's not like you're sitting around saying, well, what am I feeling? You're just there are some, talked about sacred spaces. I am a person that really likes solitude. And so if I spend too much time with people, I need to not spend time with people.
That's how I am.
Right. But some people, because I've never go to a bar, a loud, noisy place, that to me is not for me. It's just not for me.
Me either.
So I have to actually have those quiet times. And those quiet times, I then spend time doing my art. And I find there's a miraculous kind of event that happens, of something that's then created in front of me. I don't have a clue how that happened. And this is now, we're talking 30 years later, because I never took classes. I'm all self-taught. So over the years, I've kind of learned what that means to do art. So you have to cultivate a self that wants to have some alone time so that you can create. So I think the question was, how do you learn how to be an artist? Or how do you do your creativity? Yeah, you got to decide to spend a little time by yourself. And maybe that's not the way your artwork works. Maybe it's you like to connect with people. Maybe it's about having a camera and going out to Central Park and then connecting because you're talking to somebody and you're saying, may I take your photo? their version of doing the creative arts. That wouldn't be mine, but there'll be a way that you can find what yours is.
I love that you connected it to maybe your medium isn't art in the sense of painting or drawing, right?
It might be photography, it might be. Somebody once said to me, it's a creative act to move your couch pillow from one side of the couch, fluff it up, and move it to the other side. That's a creative act. It's like, you know what? It really kind of is. So we also, what we do, and I think it's a detriment, is that we put art way up here. But that's art for artists.
Almost inaccessible. Yes.
But it's really accessible. And it can be something really simple.
I appreciate twice you've now responded to this idea of simplicity.
Yeah.
As one of the highest qualities in terms of when I think of, a lot of people I talk to are so complex that a lot of people get lost in the words of it all, right? And twice you've alluded to like, it sounds complex, but here's really what it is. And I really appreciate that. I just want to like shout that out. You come across as a very self-actualized human being. And so I guess my curiosity is, what would you tell your 13-year-old self? Or your 15-year-old self? Like, what would you say to her?
Well, at that time, I wasn't too much of a happy camper. I wasn't really a happy teenager. I probably would have said, hold on, it's going to get better. It's just going to get so much better. And, I don't think we can escape those tough times. There's just, if you're going to have a quality life, it's going to be tough. Nobody ever told us it was going to be bliss all the time. By no means. No way. No way. So, but it gets better. If you stay the course and you're committed to something, you've got an endpoint in mind, you'll get there.
I appreciate that. So I'm curious, we're coming up on time in a little bit. We end with 2 questions every time. We'll get to them. But before we do, I would love for you to just define for us, like, what does community mean to you?
Well, it's everything. So I moved from San Francisco to Petaluma 5 years ago. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know a soul. So 6 months after being here, I joined the Petaluma Arts Center. I joined the board. And then we lost our executive director. So I used my skills, became kind of the unnamed executive director. Now I'm president of the board, and I'm also chair of exhibitions. So what does that mean? It means I took on a lot. I had the skills to do it. But it meant that it catapulted me in this community of being someone who is a leader and is now known and well-known and I believe respected. So community to me, it is like family too. I walk in the door and it's like, how was your week and what's going on and what kind of art are you doing? And it's like, how's it going? And did you see this movie? And it's a lot. It's a lot in the sense of it's very important to have community, to have a healthy self. Yeah, I really think it's part of our civic health, our mental health, our individual health. It's many things. Yeah.
Wow. I was, funny enough, I was watching a movie yesterday with several people. It was a movie with Robert De Niro in it. It's kind of a comedy with him and his son. But there's a phrase, apparently, well, from what they were saying, it's rooted in like an Italian phrase, which is family is not one thing, it's the only thing. It's everything.
Yeah.
And so to what you're saying is that like this notion of community is everything. Like that's where you plug in, that's where you belong, that's where you rise, that's where you feel empowered, a sense of agency.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've kind of lost that.
We really have. It's like we really have. As family, the social structures are decomposing. I believe they'll rise again in a new way. I think this is a particularly very difficult time. But I think I have to believe that the walls are coming down and it's crumbling because something's going to come up again. I really believe that. And even to the point where parts of the White House were bulldozed, right?
Yeah.
It was never fully
crumbling,
It was never fully a house for the people. It was supposed to be. Now we're watching it being torn apart. Let's see what comes up. Let's see what rises again. So our social structures are falling apart. our communities maybe are not as together, but wherever you are, whether you're in Northern California, which is beautiful, or somewhere in central Kansas, you will find something. And I think I'll go back to the title of that movie, Join or Die, because I really think it's that urgent. Yeah.
Yeah, I so agree with you. And, it's interesting because I think that, to your point, this is great opportunity to redefine what community means for each of us, right?
Yeah.
So I think we've spent decades moving away from this idea of community and what that means to coexist in a healthy way, what it means to recognize your humanness in me, and if you're not good, I'm not good. So I think there are two things on offer, and I would love for you to kind of just help someone out there who is struggling. Again, I think there's this notion of worth that keeps popping up wherever we go and whatever conversations we have. So there are two questions we end with. And so the first question I'm going to ask you is, what does it mean to be a kind soul?
Because and I love your shirt. It says, "Hello, kind soul." What does it mean to be a kind soul? Well, I know in times when, kindness people ask me, what are the qualities in an individual that are most important to you? And it always is kindness. So why is that? I think because it's amazing to be alive, and it's not easy to be alive. It's really tough.
Indeed.
And I think we have our struggles. And I think if we can rest on kindness, you might be having a bad day, and this happened to me once, that someone was standing in front of me and she did not have enough for groceries. And I just pulled out some money, and it was really easy to do, and I didn't think about it. And it was the look on her face meant everything to me. So that was a kind act. It's a kind act if I drop something on the ground and somebody runs after me and says, "You dropped something." It's not hard. Again, we're back to it's not hard. Somebody holds the door for me. It's just I think it's our go-to.
Our default.
It's our default. Yeah.
I love that. And we always end on this question. So we have a lot of folks who watch our podcast, and some folks are doing really well, and some folks are really struggling.
They're really struggling.
And so I ask every guest, your camera's there, if you could give advice to someone who's struggling to just continue to go one more day.
One more day. Reach out. You hear that all the time. And, we've heard that before, if people are talking in different realms, whether you're at a church service or a suicide hotline or you're a member of a recovery group, it's always reach out, connect. So I think it's almost like a spiritual, religious act to just reach out and say, "I need some help," or "Can you assist me with something?" or just ask. Yeah. So it is. It's something it's very big, but really simple.
I'm so grateful that you chose to sit with me today and have this conversation. Lisa,
me too. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It is a pleasure. Are there any other links you want folks to think about in terms of contacting you or to see your art?
Instagram is Lisa Lightman Fine Art. I think and I have a website, and you can check it out. That'd be great.
Awesome. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. And as always, if you want to support me and our podcast, you can go and give us a cup of coffee. Our link will be below, and then you just click on it. You can give us monthly support, $1, whatever. We appreciate you watching us. Most importantly, do not let anyone take the J out your joy, and continue to raise the vibration on a global scale through compassion, connection, and community. Have an amazing day, y'all. Peace.